All right, Larry Krueger from the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show here with a 49er video. The Niners know they're playing the Detroit Lions. The Lions have 8 great elite star players. We'll talk about those 8 players coming up next. First, we're brought to you by Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Check them out in Emeryville and Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out. Go say hi to Damon and Mary and get yourself some brisket chili. Tell them that Larry Krueger sent you. And we're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Use the promo code Krug in the description. Use the link in the description and make sure you type in the promo code Krug, K-R-U-E-G, and they'll match you up to your first $100. All right, let's talk a little bit about the Niners' opponent in the NFC Championship game. It's none other than the Detroit Lions. And if you're sitting there going, man, the Lions were bad for so long, how did they finally get good? Well, it's a combination of factors. When you have great players that play great, you become a Super Bowl contender. And you get great players when you have a GM that knows what he's doing. And Brad Holmes is a phenomenal GM. He was in LA with the Rams when they drafted guys like Cooper Kupp and Aaron Donald. He worked with Les Snead. He's a phenomenal personnel guy. He's now running the personnel side of things in Detroit. And then Dan Campbell is a motivator of the highest degree, and this guy can motivate guys to play hard. So if you're drafting great players and signing great players and Dan Campbell is getting them to play really hard, guess what? You accumulate enough of them, and you've got a great football team. And that's where the Lions are. So let's talk a little bit about the Lions, because more so than almost any team, the trait that stands out about the Detroit Lions is they have 8 of the greatest individual talents in the entire NFL. And 5 of them are on offense, 3 of them are on defense. And let's dig deeper and tell you a little bit about the 8 great players that make up the Detroit Lions. All right, let's start with Sam Laporta. Sam Laporta is a rookie tight end from Iowa. And Iowa's had some good tight ends. TJ Hawkinson, a guy named George Kittle. Yeah. But Sam Laporta is got the Iowa record for receptions. He caught more balls than Hawkinson, more balls than George Kittle, more balls than any tight end in the history of that program, and they've had some good ones there. 153 catches at Iowa for Sam Laporta. And he was the Big Ten tight end of the year. And 50, this guy went to Highland High School in Illinois, and he was a major star in high school. He had 50 touchdowns at Highland High School in Illinois. That's the second most all time in the state of Illinois. So he was highly productive as a high school player, and then went to Iowa. And guess what? He set the Iowa record for receptions. What makes Sam Laporta good? I mean, it's not just he's athletic. It's not just that he has good hands. He's really a tough cover. He's more of a receiver, an elite receiver, than he is an elite blocker. But he'll give you a nasty stiff arm in the open field. He's super tough, very smart, highly competitive, very productive. But his greatness comes in his receiving ability. And when you really watch him, what stands out to me is Sam Laporta can alter tempo on his route running. He can make you feel like he's one speed and then play at a different speed for 3 or 4 steps. So he's got an ability to alter his tempo as a route runner, and it makes him very, very difficult to cover. You feel like you're running step for step with him, and then all of a sudden the ball's in the air, and he takes 3 steps that are faster than any you've seen all day and separates from you and makes the catch. So he's got that ability. He's got great hands, focus, concentration. He plucks the ball with his hands. But if there's two things that stand out, he's got a nasty stiff arm once he has the ball. But as far as making these catches, he's one of the best tight ends I've seen in recent years at altering his pass route running tempo and separating from the defender. And he's really, really, it's uncanny. You think you have him covered, and then he alters the tempo, and he's open. So Sam Laporta comes into this game a little banged up. He got hurt in week 18. It looked to be a serious knee injury, but he played the next game. So this guy's playing hurt. He's less than 100%, but Sam Laporta is the first great Detroit Lion player. All right, the second great player they have is Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs went to Dalton High School in the state of Georgia and went to Georgia Tech initially out of high school, and then transferred in 2022 to Alabama. And what he is he's got soft hands. He's a really, really dangerous receiver. He's a slasher. And what really stands out about Jahmyr Gibbs is he's got quick feet, and he's a mismatch in the passing game because of his quick feet and his instant acceleration. So, you look at Jahmyr Gibbs. I mean, he's one of the most explosive running backs to come out of college in a long time. And he's got really, really soft hands. They're more powerful running backs than Jahmyr Gibbs. There are guys that break more tackles, but this guy's a mismatch, and it's all based on speed. He's got instant acceleration, terrific contact balance, and he is a true mismatch in the passing game. And he's just got the best feet you're going to find. So Jahmyr Gibbs, another guy. You think you've got a good coverage linebacker? Well, this is maybe the best pass catching back in the entire NFL. And just a tremendous player. They had the conviction to grab him. Most people thought he was going to be a mid-second round pick. The Lions traded up in the first round and grabbed him, and their war room erupted when they got this guy. They knew they were getting a great player, and he hasn't let them down. The combination of David Montgomery, who handles a lot of the power between the tackle runs, and Jahmyr Gibbs as this dynamic slasher, passing game mismatch, instant accelerator, has made the Lions offense really go. And he is playing at an exceptionally high level. He's elite player number 2. All right, elite player number 3 is Penei Sewell. And Penei Sewell was a super blue chipper. I mean, when you finish bad, low down in the standings like the Lions have, you get some really high picks. This kid grew up in American Samoa, and then his family moved to Utah. He went to the University of Oregon. He became the first Oregon Duck freshman to start an opener his freshman year in 20 years. Oregon hardly ever starts their freshmen right away. And Penei Sewell started in that first game as a freshman, first freshman to do it in 20 years. There's a connection to the 49ers. His uncle is big Isaac Sopoaga, who was the Niners nose guard during the Harbaugh years. Another enormous, strong guy. And that's what Penei Sewell is. He's enormous, he's strong, and he's athletic as hell at this size. We're talking about a guy who's about 6'6", 330 pounds, and he's incredibly athletic for that size. He won the Outland Trophy at Oregon. He's got elite feet. And he's the best run blocker in pro football today. He's a violent player on that second level. He can climb to that second level and find athletic guys in space and pick them off. He's also their vocal leader. This guy he plays right tackle, and he's the best right tackle in pro football today. He's 6'6", 330, super athletic, super tough. You don't see guys this big and this athletic very often. And this guy's got a Canton, Ohio type resume coming up. I mean, dominant player as a younger player in high school and college, won the Outland Trophy at Oregon. The best feet you're going to find, just an elite run blocker. He will bulldoze you. But he's also got great feet, and he's tough, and he's their leader, and he's violent with his hands, and he's got violent hands, quick feet, tough as hell, sets the tone. Penei Sewell's quite simply the best right tackle in the game. All right, he is elite player number 3. So we've already got, Sam Laporta and Jahmyr Gibbs and Penei Sewell, all elite players. And if you think, well, man, 3 elite players on an offense is pretty special. Well, they don't have 3. They've got 5. Don't forget about Amon-Ra St. Brown. L.A. kid, went to Modern Day High School. His father, John, was a two-time Mr. Universe. You looked at Amon-Ra in the draft and you thought, he's pretty good, nothing special. But when you watch closer and you watch the way he's developed, you're talking about one of the most polished route runners in the NFL today. He's got excellent body control. He knows how to stick a defender on his hip. He understands spacing and he understands how to work in a short area. So if you notice, Amon-Ra doesn't make tons of plays down the field, but he's unstoppable in the short and intermediate area. He's running a route. He's in great lockstep with Jared Goff. Goff knows exactly where he's going to be. Amon-Ra reminds me of, in some ways, of the way that Steve Young had Jerry Rice, and they literally could complete passes in the dark. I mean, Amon-Ra and Jared Goff have that kind of sync. When it's fourth down and they look to pass, they're going to Amon-Ra St. Brown. Why? Because he's going to do a little stop route, a little in cut, a little out cut. He knows where he's going. There's no wasted steps. Good luck covering him. There's bigger guys. There's faster guys. There's guys that walk in the door and you're like, oh my God, that guy's incredible. This guy won't wow you until the game's over. He had 119 catches. And if they got to have 5 yards, they're going to throw it to Amon-Ra St. Brown. Unbelievable polish as a route runner. Unbelievably in sync with Goff. Unbelievable body control. And he'll get a defensive player on his hip, and he knows how to stick him right there and shield him away from the football. So Amon-Ra is very, very, very special. That's special player number 4. Laporta, Gibbs, Penei Sewell, Amon-Ra. But they have 5. And their 5th special player on their offense is Big Frank Ragnow. 6'5", 315 pounds, from Victoria, Minnesota. Went to Arkansas, was all SEC as a freshman. 3-year starter, team captain. The famous story about Ragnow is his father died while in season, the night before they played Alcorn State, and he didn't even miss a start. He just kept going. This is Dan Campbell. If Dan Campbell has a favorite player, I bet you anything it's Frank Ragnow. He's tough. He's a leader. He's a blue chip player. He's been great at football for a long time. There are better athletes than this guy, but he is in a lot of ways the prototype at center. Tough, physical finisher. This guy looks to bury you. This guy personifies the attitude that Dan Campbell wants in his football team. Frank Ragnow is the best center in football right now. It was Jason Kelce, and now it's Ragnow. He's taken that mantle. He's a tone setter. He's a tone-setting, tough guy, throwback offensive lineman from Victoria, Minnesota, who played in the SEC against the greatest defensive athletes in the country and stood out. As a freshman, this guy was great. And he's done nothing but continue to be great. And this guy will look to finish you. He's their tone setter. He's their brain. He's everything. He's the ignition. This is where it starts for the Lions right here on offense. Frank Ragnow. Tough, physical finisher, leader, unbelievable player. All right, so they got 5 super elite players on offense, but they also have 3 more on defense. Let's talk about Aiden Hutchinson. Aiden Hutchinson is another blue chipper, 2nd pick in the draft. Just a great, unbelievably country strong player. His dad was Chris Hutchinson, who was an ex-Michigan defensive lineman who had a cup of coffee in the NFL and then gave up his pro career to go to med school. And his kid, Aiden Hutchinson, is everything you want. He's a blue chipper. He's smart. He's tough. He's a legend in the weight room. I mean, nobody has put in more hours in the weight room than Aiden Hutchinson. And he's functionally strong. He sets the edge in the run game. This guy was the Heisman Trophy runner-up at Michigan. You don't see too many D linemen who are runners-up for the Heisman Trophy. He's got fast hands and quick feet. Strong as all get out, with fast hands, quick feet, plays hard, unbelievable motor. 2 words to describe Aiden Hutchinson: blue chipper. Absolute blue chipper. Difference maker. He's on a line where he gets doubled probably as much as anybody in pro football, and he still has 8 sacks in the last 4 games. He's playing his best ball right now. You have to double him. You have to chip him. You have to account for him. And still, he's going to work his way to the quarterback. Great player, number 6, Aiden Hutchinson. Elite player, number 6. Blue chip, defensive end. Not quite, kind of like Bosa in that you've heard people say, Nick Bosa's hands and feet are tied together. Same thing. Exact same thing with Aiden Hutchinson. There's no wasted steps. There's no wasted movement. Fast hands, quick feet, unbelievable strength, unbelievable motor, second-generation defensive lineman. This is the family business. Sets the edge against the run. 8 sacks in the last 4 games. Monster. Got to account for him. He can ruin your day. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Let's talk about Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. You saw the Eagles go from this monster, awesome defense in the Super Bowl to they were a joke on the back end. What's the difference? They used to have Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, and then he left this year as a free agent and went to Detroit. This was the guy I wanted the Niners to sign in the offseason. This is the difference-making player, one of the greatest, most versatile difference-maker players in the NFL today. What is he? Is he a free safety? Is he a corner? Is he a slot? What is he? Is he a true corner? Is he a true safety? What is Chauncey Gardner-Johnson? He's everything. That's what he is. He's 5'11", 210 with 4.4 speed. This guy was the MVP of the Outback Bowl with the Gators as a true freshman. He's the most versatile, athletic, agile, destructive defensive back in the country, in the nation, in the league. This guy's a monster. He's everything. He's a big slot defender who can blitz the quarterback. He can support the run. You want to play him in a zone, he can handle that. You want to play him, have him play man coverage on big wide receivers, he can do that. You want to match him up against a tight end, he can do that. You want to use him as a cover 1 high safety, he can do that. I mean, the guy's got range. He can track the ball. He'll hit you. He'll separate you from the football. Great player. Unbelievably great player. Everywhere he goes, he's played great. He was great in New Orleans. He was great with the Gators. He was incredible with the Eagles. He's great with the Lions. He didn't play much of the year. He stepped right back into the lineup and started making, sacks and interceptions and tackles and big plays. 5'11", 210, 215, monster. You got to count. You got to know where this guy is. His nose for the ball is uncanny. His hitting ability, he hits you like a truck. This is a dominant player. 4.4 speed, hits like a truck, covers like the best players in the league. Can do it all. Anything you want him to do, he can do. You want him to line up outside and play corner on the boundary, he can do it. You want him to play slot corner, he can do that too. Free safety, you want him to play deep middle in a cover 3, he's got you. You want to play him in strong safety in the box, he can do that. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. And he hates Debo, and he wants to kill Debo. And Debo's already hurt coming in. So beware of Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Elite Lion number 7. All right, let's go to number 8. Brian Branch. Brian Branch is a slot corner, which has become a very valuable position in the NFL. Sandy Creek High School in the state of Georgia. Guy has been one of the best players at the high school level, one of the best players at the college level at Bama, and has been a plug-and-play star in the NFL. This is the best slot corner in the game right now. He takes elite angles. He's got great feet. He's unbelievably strong for his size. This guy's got Superman strength, unbelievable competitive fire, takes great angles, perfect feet. He's quick. He's fast. He's strong. He's tough. He plays with urgency. And maybe his greatest strength and trait is his intelligence. Very smart football player. This guy stepped out of college and into the NFL, and he's playing maybe the toughest position there is, the slot corner with the two-way break with the NFL, trying to defend NFL receivers, and he makes it look easy. Great player. In some ways, maybe their greatest player. This kid was amazing in Georgia at Sandy Creek High School. He was amazing for Bama. And they grabbed this guy in the second round, and the guy can do it all. Unbelievable quickness, great straight line speed. What really stands out, though, is the strength. And then the competitive fire's off the charts, and the urgency, because he's all ball. This guy's serious as a heart attack. Smart, tough, instinctive player. This guy's a rookie, and he's got the smarts of a vet. There you go. Those are the Detroit Lions. Why are the Lions here in the NFC Championship game? Because they have 8 elite players. Elite players. Once again, on offense, Sam Laporta, Jahmyr Gibbs, Penei Sewell, Frank Ragnow, Amon-Ra St. Brown. There's only 11 offensive players on the field at one time. They have 5 elite offensive players. And on defense, they've got Aiden Hutchinson up front, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson everywhere, Brian Branch in the slot. 8 elite football players. All right, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Krug Show. Thanks to Underdog Fantasy for sponsoring this video. Thanks to all of you guys as well for supporting the Krug Show on YouTube.